Donald Trump is living through a Monday from hell right now and apparently is begging for another mediation with Iran as Iran is pummeling U.S. bases in the Middle East. Donald Trump is fearing for his life and also has been forced to admit late last night that he will not be using Qatari Air Force One for the foreseeable future, at least 1 month, until it is maxed out with some defense capabilities, because Trump fears that Iran is trying to kill him. Iran has been putting up billboards throughout their country that look like this: "Hey terrorists, get ready to die. Who is the next one?" And then it has D and T that are bigger than the other letters. Then it says hashtag Lindsey Graham. Oddly, Donald Trump's been posting photos of himself in the Oval Office with Lindsey Graham this morning. They have these photos in Iran of Donald Trump in a casket. And when you zoom in on some of these billboards, it says hashtag We Kill Trump. And now at the same time, Iran is posting those images. I just found it notable as well this morning that FIFA cropped out Donald Trump from the stage with Spain at the World Cup finals when Spain won and Donald Trump tried to inject himself in that photo. Also, Spain edited out Donald Trump from that photo as well, that they've been posting on social media. And Donald Trump was just there. Everyone's like, get out of this photo. I think it's also notable as well, as one commentator notes, when you ask the nation to go to war and we have troops getting killed right now in the Middle East, as Donald Trump also doesn't even have the right interceptors anymore in the Middle East, and our troops are just out there just being, so vulnerable. When you ask the nation to go to war, the first family should not be posting this. Take a look at the Trump family all posting being at the World Cup and having the time of their life. Now, juxtapose it to these photos right here as we learn the identity of our troops who have been killed in the Middle East as a result of Donald Trump's catastrophic war. Private Isabella Gonzalez, 19 years old, of Carlton, Texas, killed in Jordan. First Lieutenant Tyler James Freehand, 25, of Hawaii, killed in Jordan as well. And here was Donald Trump on the tarmac late last night or yesterday in the evening, saying that we now have to max out the Qatari jet with anti-missile capabilities. And then don't worry, we'll get back to it. Listen to what Donald Trump says here. Let's play this clip.
President, this plane does not have anti-missile defense.
Well, it has a lot, and it has a lot of capability. But as I understand it, in about a month or so, they're going to send it to have it be maxed out. So they're going to be sending it, and they'll have it be maxed out. It'll take about a month.
Now, Iran's top civilian politician, who used to be in the Iranian army, by the way, MB Ghalibaf, said the following. This is what he just posted. Americans keep bringing new military equipment to the region and claim thereafter stopping the war, and then claim thereafter they're stopping the war. They've bet on our intelligence being as brief as their own IQ. We've reached the stage of mastery in recognizing these American games, and on that basis, we've prepared ourselves. Actions must confirm claims, not contradict them. Now, as the United States is now running low on munitions and, of course, low in our strategic petroleum reserves, we're now learning that in 36 months from now, Lockheed Martin may introduce a PAC-3 adapted capability effector, a new Patriot interceptor that may cost less, perhaps half as much as the current PAC-3 missiles that we're running out of. So those current interceptors cost about $4 to $5 million each shot. So when you see those Iranian ballistic missiles strike in Jordan or Kuwait or Qatar or Bahrain or any of the neighboring Arab nations, right? Each one of those interceptors that the United States is firing is 5 million, and they're not striking the Iranian ballistic missiles that are clearly hitting their targets and doing a massive amount of damage. footage this morning that the Iranian Navy released launching drones towards U.S. bases in the latest wave. Let me show you this right here. And this is footage from this morning showing a Greek-flagged commercial vessel with Saudi oil that was just struck in the Strait of Hormuz after Iran's IRGC warned it, if you use the non-safe route, the U.S. route by Oman, we will destroy your ship. Seipan Navy, we will destroy your ship. And this came an hour after the Houthis in Yemen announced a full naval blockade in the Red Sea of the Bab al-Mandab Strait for Saudi vessels. So as I've been warning, the Bab al-Mandab Strait, the Houthi says, as it relates to the Saudi vessels, we are shutting down the Bab al-Mandab Strait. I think there was 2 tankers this morning that are on. We definitely know this one. There's been a UK maritime advisory as well that another tanker, I believe, was hit. But let me show you what this tanker looks like right now that is sinking in the Strait of Hormuz by Oman. I'll show you this photo. Let's play this clip.
Let's face it, after a night with drinks, I don't bounce back the next day like I used to. I have to make a choice. I can either have a great night or a great next day. That is until I found pre-alcohol. ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic Drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. And here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's a buildup of this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for rough days after drinking. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night, drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. Every time I have pre-alcohol before drinks, I notice the difference the next day. Even after a night out, I can confidently plan on having a great next day without worrying. Look, I won't lie, I was a bit on the fence about pre-alcohol initially, but after giving it a chance, believe me, it's the real deal. July is packed with barbecues, fireworks, lake weekends, and late nights with friends. Keep the good times rolling into the next day. Drink pre-alcohol before you go out and wake up ready for whatever Sunday brings. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/Meidas and use the code Meidas at checkout for 15% off.
Now, as I noted, Yemen's Houthis officially announced a naval blockade on Saudi Arabia, banning all Saudi maritime through the Bab al-Mandab Strait and Red Sea. Now, Saudi Arabia exports 4.5 million barrels of crude oil per day through Bab al-Mandab, combined with Iran's full Hormuz sovereign control right now. Saudi can neither export through Hormuz nor through the Bab al-Mandab Strait, effectively cutting off all oil exports as every tanker leaving Saudi ports becomes a target. A senior Houthi official says it's unacceptable for Saudi Arabia to continue exporting oil through the Red Sea, while Yemen remains under a Saudi blockade. And remember last week when Saudi Arabia struck a airport in a Houthi-controlled area. Remember the Sana'a airport that was struck when an Iranian plane was going to be heading there? I said, look, they're going to shut down the Bab al-Mandab Strait, and that's what's going down. So with all of this happening, fake ceasefire news was inevitable, right? Fake ceasefire news, as this image shows. Fake ceasefire news. Houthis shut Saudi oil exports and shoot the Saudi tanker. Then it goes, a senior Iranian source says that mediators in Qatar are now going to Iran to propose a 10-day pause in strikes to create an opportunity to revive the interim nuclear deal between Iran and the United States. Well, that's what's being reported on corporate news here. And I think Iran is just trying to, if anything, flag that this is fake news, because why would Iran go back to do an MOU after Trump escalating again? We need to just focus on what's actually happening on the ground, right? A new direct hit in Kuwait just now. You can see right here. Iran striking Kuwait, a new direct hit in Bahrain right now. You can see it right here. We believe there will be major strikes in Jordan. Now, if you just take a look also, oh, and by the way, I mean, if you look at what's happening on the map, the U.S. is deploying additional F-16, F-35 fighter jets, along with aerial refueling tankers to the Middle East. So the U.S. escalating as more U.S. equipment is just getting destroyed there. But I want you to take a look right here at this map so you can see what Iran is strategically doing right here. And you're like, well, why are they striking Jordan? Why don't you think they would be striking Israel? We haven't heard about them striking Israel yet. No, what Iran realizes is that the Iron Dome, as it's been called, yes, there's an Iron Dome in Israel, but it does seem like Trump and Netanyahu and U.S. and Israel have really created an Iron Dome in the region to actually protect Israel and to use the other Arab nations and the U.S. bases there as ways to block it. Just look where Iran is on the map, for the Iranian missiles to be blocked in these other countries before even heading into Israel. And then Israel serves as kind of, then uses its Iron Dome, when these other countries, are not actually protecting Israel. And it does appear that there are a lot of vulnerabilities in the infrastructure and in the security umbrella and in the equipment that the United States gave these Arab nations, which seem more equipped to protect Israel than to protect the Arab nations themselves. So if you look at where Iran has been striking, they've been picking out targets in Qatar. They've been picking out targets in Bahrain. They've been picking out targets in Kuwait. They've been picking out the targets northern Iraq or Bil. They've been picking out, let me just go look at Jordan, Prince Hassan, Mufaq Salti. That's where the three recent deaths were. King Faisal Air Base, Aqaba right there. And so that's where Iran is striking. If you take a look on the map right there. Now, one of the reasons also, I think, why you floated the idea is there going to be a ceasefire or mediated discussions. Look what it did to the price of oil for a brief period of time. It reduces the price of crude. It's manipulating the markets, but then eventually, the markets are catching back up to everything that's happening right now. So that's where we are right now. You've got, we'll keep you posted every step of the way. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. And thanks for watching, everybody.
Breaking news right now, my brothers and I wrote a book. It's called WTF America. And well, doesn't that just say it all? It comes out officially this October, but you can pre-order your copy today. Just scan the QR code or click the link in the description below.